All right, Chi, good afternoon. You can take a quick minute to introduce yourself.
Sure. Hey, name is Chitio. I'm the director of manufacturing engineering at a medical device company.
Great, Chi. So, first question: how would you describe the organization's culture in 3 words, and why those 3 words?
3 words to describe the organization cultures for me would be integrity, committed, and success.
Okay, and why those three? Any specific reason?
Uh, Committed because with the various departments, cross-functional members that I work with in this organization, everybody seems motivated and very much want to get themselves a success, and are committed because we are, at least my observation is, everybody strive to commit to please the customer.
Okay.
So integrity is also something that I observe
Mhm.
across the co-workers that I work with. So hence I put those three
Okay.
as the culture for our organization.
Okay, perfect.
Mhm.
So, how are decisions typically made here? Top down, collaborative, or a mix? Can you give an example?
Okay. Uh, it's a mix of top-down and collaborative. I really like the collaborative approach. An example would be what we call our change review board, where cross-functional teams would meet up every week to review submission of projects
Mhm.
that various teams would like to work on, and we would review the business case as a team, right? Cross-functional team to decide whether to move forward with a project or not.
Great, sounds good. So, how does leadership communicate changes or strategic shifts to the organization?
Very forthcoming. Uh, Usually when there's a shift in the organization, it will be a town hall that we schedule, and it's all inclusive. That's how basically how the organization communicate those
Okay.
agenda.
So, what behaviors are the most rewarded or recognized in this organization?
I'm sorry, could you repeat?
What behaviors are most rewarded and recognized in this organization?
Mm, Being respectful and hardworking.
Hardworking?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, how does the company handle conflict between teams, departments, and individuals?
The way I see it handled here is when conflict exists, or a lot of time, at least I can speak for my team, is individuals in my team will come to me and bring to light these kind of conflicts, right? If it's a conflict with another team member of mine, usually I will facilitate that by bringing those two individuals in, setting up a meeting, right,
Okay.
between the three of us, and to thoroughly understand what the issue or issues are, right? If it's a conflict with a team member from another team, usually my approach would be to reach out to his or her manager
Mhm.
and bring him up to speed and make him aware of this conflict between these two individuals.
Okay. So, how does the organization support cross-functional collaborations? I know we touched on that in the CRB example that you gave, but how about other projects that are at early stage, which is not even coming to CRB at this point?
Good point. So our cross-functional collaboration happens beyond what I just described earlier. For example, we work closely with what we call our product development team, and during the very early stages of product development, our other functions such as quality and manufacturing were pulled in at the very beginning, right, to assess the for example, the manufacturability of the product, right, and quality to assess whether there'll be any quality issues down the road. So those are the type of collaboration that happens. Yep.
Okay. How does organization balance performance with employees' well-being?
Let's see here. Trying to think about. So what I like about this organization is not only is performance driven, but most functions of teams understand that work-life balance is important,
Mhm.
right? And from my example, in my team would be some of my guys actually allow flexibility for them to work remotely if needed.
Mhm.
And based on my observations, they're just as productive, right? And being able to meet the targets. So it's all about flexibility, right? We allow flexibility to maintain well-being of the employee, right? And making sure that they're still delivering. So I've had success there, and that's how I make sure that my employees, my direct reports, have that balance.
Okay. How does the organization onboard new individuals who may not have a lot of industry experience, and how does the organization support them getting up to speed?
Our organization has a really good training program for onboarding new employees. This came about last year where every team was required to submit training materials, right? So that when we onboard somebody new, he or she gets the full download of what each function does. Okay. So I think that's a very good program and has been very effective. Yeah. We also encourage a lot of what you call job shadowing. For example, if you have a coworker that's like much more seasoned and you would like to learn from him or her, you would tag along, job shadow this person for a period of time. So in my opinion, very effective programs to onboard new employees.
Gotcha. So how would you motivate a team member who's actually underperforming?
The way I would encourage this person, right, is to identify where the misses were, right? What caused this person to underperform in the first place, and if it's, let's say, a technical aptitude that he or she is lacking, I would identify some relevant courses, right,
Okay.
for him to sign up, to basically improve himself on those technical skills, right? And if it's a interpersonal skills, for example, that he or she is lacking, would try to understand, what kind of interpersonal skill is this person struggling? Is it communication with other team members, or is it just him being abrasive? So depending on the nature of what caused him to underperform, we will start with identifying programs or trainings that would improve those deficits.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you support employees who want to grow or take on new responsibilities?
So going back to trainings, so I have like monthly meeting with each and every one of my direct reports, right? And we touch on their career growth, right? What would they like to be, right? The ladder that they want to climb, right? And from there, I would actually encourage them to take the appropriate training and seminars, right, to better themselves at that particular department, right? Yeah. For example, we have a direct report of mine that's interested in not specifically in the technical field, but eventually would like to go into managerial position, and we encourage him to do his master's in business administration. So this individual just recently graduated, obtaining his master's degree. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. So asking the previous question a little bit differently, right? Not the previous question, the one before that. So you mentioned there can be different personalities, right, within the group. So let's say you have introverts and extroverts in the team, right? So how do you accommodate, delegating stuff to them, and what kind of work do you provide for them?
Okay. So so two different extremes, right? Let's say, going back to your example of introvert versus extroverts, right? My approach would be, typically if prior to the trainings and all, right, before I identify trainings and all, what I would do as stopgap is for the person that has introvert traits, I would try to fan him away from like being the person that speaks to the project, but I would let him focus more on the technical aspect, let him focus more on the technical work, right? And as far as the person who has the extrovert skills, I would typically assign him as the face of the project, so he would basically communicate the updates and progresses of the projects to the broader team. So that's how I usually approach it.
Okay, you tailor their job according to that. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, subjective question again, right? So, what do you value most in your direct reports? Results, attitude, collaboration, or something else?
Okay. Attitude and collaboration. I think attitude is very important. That's number one. Collaboration, being able to work well with other people is very important.
Okay.
Those two.
Okay. And how do you give feedback? Give formally, informally, or both?
Both.
So when you say both, so when you say elaborate a little bit more on formal and informal. When you say formal, right? So do you give them any kind of recognition through the system, like an award points in the system that you can give, or just give them a pat on the shoulder and say, hey, you did good? How do you go about doing that?
Okay. So I'll give you a recent example, right? Going back to the question, I forgot the question that we had, how we balance well-being, right? And I say, I believe in flexibility. Provided that performance is not degraded, right? Sometimes I have to make adjustments to that. For example, there was this one individual that we allowed working every other week from home, right? But we realized over time that that's straining and affecting his performance. So we negotiated and still giving him that flexibility, but reduce it, like, have a different work from home schedule. But that was initially communicated, informally, but sometimes communicating informally, a person may not adhere to it. So it was started off with text, like, hey, I think we need to change your pattern of coming in more frequently, right? But we didn't see any much change to that. So basically I have to tell his supervisor to enforce it.
Okay.
So by formally typing on email to him, right, copying me and say, hey, we need you to be at work every week on site.
Gotcha.
You get to take 2 days off every week.
Okay,
but
so
you have to come in every week.
Okay, so very formal feedback.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay. I think this will be the last question. So, from an organization standpoint, you have been an engineering manager for a really long time, right? In your role, what type of leadership actually enhances the performance? Like coaching leadership, motivation leadership, assertive leadership.
Coaching and assertive.
Okay.
I think is the most effective.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Great. Thank you very much. Chi. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.